Free, 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 free. I'm outside the Israeli embassy in central London on High Street, Kensington. As you can see behind me, a large crowd has gathered in order to protest against the continued occupation and the shelling that's going on in Gaza right now. They're calling for Israel to stop the killing of innocent children, stop the occupation of Gaza and the West Bank, to end the siege on Gaza, and to give the Palestinians their full and inalienable human rights. To summarize what's happened today, it's the 24th day of what the Israelis call Operation Protective Edge. This morning a ceasefire was brokered by the UN and by the US, which collapsed within 4 hours. There was shelling in the town of Raffa in the southern part of Gaza, which resulted in the deaths of 40 to 50 Palestinians. In the firefight which took place, an IDF soldier was captured by Hamas and is currently missing in action. As it stands, according to The Guardian, the number of Israelis that have died is 66, all but 3 of those are soldiers. The number of Palestinians that have died since this operation began is 1,418, the vast majority of those being civilians, women, children, non-combatants, and at least a fifth, according to the UN, have been children. According to The Guardian, about 2,842 rockets have been sent into Israel by Hamas, reportedly with no warheads and with no direct fatalities. By contrast, Israel has sent over 3,196, it cannot be accurately verified, and these are US financed artillery, missiles and munitions. Now anyone following this conflict, and I'm sure you have been, has listened to both sides. Both sides are firmly entrenched in their views, and it's clear from the Israeli perspective that they feel that there is an existential threat posed by Hamas. That is why, whether the argument changes from tunnels to kidnappings to rockets, if the same action takes place, the Israeli government does shift its position, and it would seem that the Israeli public is not concerned about that. It is simply concerned about its future in the long run, which is the only reason one can really explain why this action can be condoned. On the other side, you have the people behind me, for people from all walks of life, black, white, young, old, religious and non-religious, who clearly are outraged by the argument that any of the issues pressed forward by the Israeli government can justify the killing that has taken place on a daily basis since this operation began. So rather than stand here and ask people to comment on what they think of this situation, because you and I both know what the answers are going to be, we really need to start thinking about what the long-term solution is. Yes, of course, a unequivocal humanitarian ceasefire is absolutely needed right now in order to ensure that people who are suffering suffer no longer. But in the long run, once this Operation Protective Edge comes to an end, there will be a massive rebuilding process. And this is not something that Palestinians are not used to. They're used to this. But at this moment in time, this is the first conflict in Gaza which has been covered by social media. And you can guarantee that the people who are here today are here not because they've been given a leaflet, it's because they've been following the conflict online. And they have to have a solution in the long run as to exactly how the Palestinians can live in security alongside their Israeli counterparts. So we're going to be asking people here exactly what they feel their solution is. It's going to be interesting to hear what their ideas are.
My name is Paul. I'm a member of the Socialist Party in South London, and the solution to the Palestine-Israel conflict, in our view, is that a mass movement has got to be built of, firstly, the poor and working class in Palestine itself, but also united with the poor and the working class in Israel, and building a mass movement that can challenge the authority of the Israeli state on the blockade, on the military occupation, but also one that deals with the day-to-day questions of decent living standards for ordinary Palestinians.
My name's Tansy Hoskins, and I believe that the long-term solution to this crisis in the Middle East is firstly that Israel needs to become a nuclear-free state, that Israel needs to stop invading and attacking Palestine, and that eventually, you know, we need a one-state solution where everybody's vote, everybody's human rights are absolutely equal.
My name's Shamil Jorda from Friends of Al-Aqsa. The long-term solution is something that we need to all be part of. We need to be part of the political process in the UK. This is a political problem, it needs a political solution. We need to lobby our MPs, we need to make sure that policymakers know where we stand, we need to ensure when there's media bias that we react and we complain. Similarly, when something's positive, we also need to make sure that they're going down the right route and we say something positive.
My name is Jeffrey Cohen, I'm from Judas, and the long-term solution to the Palestine issue is we need solidarity between Jews, Muslims, Christians and all groups throughout the Middle East, and we need people to unite around what they agree upon and resist military occupation, resist the arms companies and resist the people that want to profit from war, and instead embrace the path of solidarity and peace.
As time goes by, we are all evident there will never be peace in Palestine with the state of Israel existing, because Zionism, it started off with a racist ideology, with atrocious means, and it does not know, the state of Israel does not know how to make peace, does not know what peace means, and therefore we have to work together on a one-state solution where Jews, Palestinians, Arab, Christians, all communities of all faith can live peacefully side by side in Palestine, like they have lived together side by side in harmony before Zionism.
So you can see behind me that the stage itself is being dismantled. We've had all of the speeches, we've had all of the chanting over the last kind of 2.5 hours, a lot of free Palestine, a lot of condemnation of Israel, but also condemnation of the politicians of this country as well as those in the US. There's a much larger demonstration. When I say much larger, this one had at least, I'd say 3,000 to 4,000 people here. The road did have to be sealed off. It's now 7 o'clock, and as you can see behind me, people are still here. They're still chanting. They're refusing to leave. The road is still closed. It was a good-natured event. There was no trouble at all. It passed off peacefully. There was no problems for the police. But one thing is for certain, is people are angry, and people want results, and people I don't think are willing to let this go on this occasion. They're going to be turning up again and again and again until the politicians themselves wake up and start to make the changes that they demand.